Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now November 10th of 2022, and we are just a couple of weeks away from the last episode of Star Wars Andor. Once that happens, we only have a couple of more weeks to go on top of that until fans get to see The Bad Batch Season 2, and then followed by that we have Mando Season 3, Ahsoka, and others out there. Now, Celebration next year, by the way, is going to be a big deal with full announcements by FAVREAU, Filoni, Lucas, Chapek, and more. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, one thing about the new universe between FAVREAU and Filoni is that they really are going all out on their end of the spectrum when it comes to Star Wars, because they are dragging in fan-favorite aspects of Legends, including cameos, locations, spaceships, of course, starfighters, all these different things, right? Lore, different kinds of Jedi lore and Sith lore that's going to play a big role in the upcoming projects. Now, where we are right now is that Kathleen Kennedy is still strictly working on the Acolyte and Skeleton Crew. Now, there's been a lot of things happening with Kathleen Kennedy just recently behind the scenes. We'll be going over that in just a second. But behind the scenes, she's been pretty much involved in the preliminary filming phase of the Acolyte. Now, it's not much filming, it's not the substantial part of the show, but the main filming of the series won't begin until sometime in December next month. So, on top of all of this, alright, what's even all the more engaging of what has to do with the Disney executives, Kathleen Kennedy, and a whole lot more on everything that's been happening is that, of course, with Kathleen Kennedy still focused on Skeleton Crew and the Acolyte, she has been moving things forward with the Acolyte as of right now. There were preliminary filming, of course, stages that have begun, before main filming begins next month. However, as of late, Kathleen Kennedy has gotten herself into more trouble with Disney executives over the recent days for one of the upcoming projects. Now, it's noted that just recently Kathleen Kennedy forced the Skeleton Crew series to go into some significant reshoots right now that is going to cost Disney more revenue than expected, and even delay the series by a couple of months for 2023. Now, this in turn led to, of course, Disney executives to come in and warn Kathleen Kennedy that if she pulls another thing like that again, that they will be shelving the project and calling it quits on production if she actually costs them any more money than she already did with the Acolyte series. So, before I get to the next big part about this, for those of you that have been out of the loop, Kathleen Kennedy did cost Disney over $1 million in set builds for the Acolyte series and rewrites and pretty much rehiring different co-writers and directors for the Acolyte series that ended up never really working out that way that she wanted. Now, where we are now is that Kathleen Kennedy's causing even more problems for the Skeleton Crew show now. And it just does not surprise me in the slightest, and I'm sure it doesn't for you guys, but this is where Disney is drawing the line. They are giving her the biggest ultimatum of all, that if she keeps pursuing reshoots and keeps on pursuing, rewrites or altering the script of the show, that they're going to have to shelve this project permanently and just cancel it altogether. And given that the Acolyte, is almost in the same boat right now, because things could also go down that route as well by Kathleen Kennedy, just like what's happening with Skeleton Crew, of getting all these different, reshoots that are taking place. However, with that being said, that's not the end of it all. That's just the beginning, actually. But one thing about the reshoots is that Kathleen Kennedy is trying to add in more fan-favorite aspects that John and Dave did with their shows. So, I don't know about you guys, but this to me comes across like she's kind of competing with John and Dave. The fact that she's bringing in Legends elements, including characters and locations in Skeleton Crew, and what that's going to look like all depends on execution, so we'll have to wait and see, but so far, I'm very on edge about that, and specifically, of course, even more on edge, depending on what these Legends characters are going to be, right? Who they really are. Now, of course, Disney CEO Bob Chapek recently warned her that if there are any more reshoots after this for Skeleton Crew, they at Disney have agreed to cancel the show altogether, since they specifically want this show to be a low-budget Star Wars show and very small scale. So again, they want this to be a very small-scale show, not a very evolving or large show. Now, what Kennedy is doing now is that she is bringing in some Legends Star Wars characters to make cameos, and she will be changing some of those Legends characters to her own liking for the story, which is worrying fans and even Disney, since they know the hardcore fans may be very unhappy about such a decision like that on her part. It's unclear who these cameos will be, but they are said to be Legends characters from books based in the post-Return of the Jedi era, so you can kind of narrow it down a little bit at least. As of now, Kathleen Kennedy is not putting in characters like Luke. However, Disney did want her to do that, but she refused to do so at all. So let's be clear about Skeleton Crew, is that in the beginning, Disney wanted Kathleen Kennedy to put in Luke Skywalker into the series because they knew it would improve the show, it would gain fan interest. Again, this is Disney's game plan with FAVREAU and Filoni's shows, is that they want to incorporate Luke either by reference or actually being literally there to really kind of just keep that Skywalker essence alive and to really keep it intact and making sure that the Skywalkers do remain relevant to a degree. What Kathleen Kennedy here is doing by dragging in Star Wars Legends specifically just to win back some fans, I think it might not even come out all that well. It might come out very messy. It may come out as very inauthentic, not feeling real. I mean, it really all is a big deal for Disney right now because they're already dealing with a lot of fans that left the franchise and they're trying to get those fans back. So it all is dependent on how it's going to be executed, right? And who these Legends characters really are. We're not quite sure, like I said, how important these Legends characters will be. If they're minor or major ones, that's unclear. But they are said to be known enough to the point where it may very well cause some controversy by fans. So who knows, maybe it's Prince Shizor, for all we know. But I don't think it's going to be somebody of that significance. Anyways, moving on to the next thing. Skeleton Crew, in case you guys did not know, it is basically going to be Stranger Things in space. This is what we talked about. Stranger Things in space is basically what Skeleton Crew is. That's what it is. Now, it's all focused on young people lost in the galaxy trying to find their way back home, but while finding their way home, they cross a series of obstacles. And that's exactly what the show is about. It's going to be a one-off show as of right now. They're not planning to make this into a multi-season show, so if it's not good, fine. If it's great, that's fine, I guess, too, but I don't really see this being a home run. So overall, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you guys have to say about all this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.